huge shout out again to Eric from Eric's Everything Auto. Definitely go give him a follow, guys. If you could, get him up to 500 followers on Instagram. He has helped me out tremendously ever since my situation, ever since my going into congested heart failure and all that. He has come in clutch and, you know, more than anyone else in my life. So huge shout out to Eric again. Thank you again, buddy. I really do appreciate it. Well, I'm sure as you guys do know me by now, we are going to go ahead and lift this thing. Last video, we went ahead and did the 24x14s, and that was in lieu of what we're doing today. So we went ahead and JS Coatings dropped these off at him. I'm going to put that footage in right now. I'm just laughing about this because Jeremy took my camera and said that he doesn't like the footage we just shot. But as you've seen on the screen, text him and tell him thank you from the Senate Squad. He thinks I only have one camera, or like I couldn't just take this to the shop and pre-record this. Text the number. Thanks from the Senate Squad. All right, we got our powder coating in the car here. And yeah, thanks again, Jeremy. Yep. I don't care about that GoPro. I have other, like, it's okay. I have zero other footage of this so far. There you go. So thank you. Take care, and we'll see you in the next one. Make sure you guys text him now for him being a turkey. All right, so we dropped these pieces off to him. He went ahead and got them all powder coated up. As you can tell, these things are freaking sweet. I absolutely love the fact that we're gonna do white on white. Like Rick Ross used to say, white on white, that's freaking Rouse. But got everything, all the pieces and all that you're gonna see powder coated white. Now Eric, Cameron, and I are actually gonna get this thing tossed together. I don't know where Eric went. He always plays with the dog, so he's kind of few and far between sometimes, but he's a good guy. He's helping me out, so definitely check him out. Eric's Everything Auto, Cameron, Mud Junkie 99, and let's get this thing in the sky. Obviously, before we go ahead and kick this video off today, I've got to go ahead and give a huge shout out to Rough Country for joining this build, and Standout Specialties for helping me do everything. So now we can roll the footage.
Roll it.
Play it.
Go.
So I don't know if I put it in this video or the last video, but we went ahead and fixed the chimney. Well, I did, but Eric's been yelling at me. He's like, hey, it's way too smoky. And you know me, like, I'm just like, I don't realize it. It's not that bad. So I went ahead and actually made a real chimney for this thing. And I gotta admit, it did make a huge difference. This thing really blows out the heat. So if you guys are in the market, literally 55 bucks, I think I paid, it was 63 with tax, and then obviously the barrel was $10 or free. Thank you, Eric. But you can get the barrels for like 10 bucks. It works absolutely amazing. So one of the other things I did on my barrel, I know this video is actually about this, but I actually put my bigger hole bung down here instead of the smaller one. The only reason I did that is because more airflow. Obviously I can burn bigger things up here, as you can tell by our flame in there. So I love it. Definitely puts off the heat and makes it nice in here. Cam's been over here warming up on it, so. All right, guys, so here we go. We got the strut out, axle out. Obviously, you know that axle is going to get the spacer somewhere. You'll see it somewhere along the lines. If you've seen any of my other videos, you know that gets a spacer. Old hub is pressed out because that's the new drop spindle. There's a spacer. Yeah, so when we go back together, this actually goes on the axle. I know a lot of you guys will tell me to run the 07 and up axles because they're longer, but this is obviously an 07 and up, and you won't be able to do it on this kit. So all my other kits, yes, you could. This kit, you cannot. So first thing we did was Eric and I went ahead, and they say you have to notch to run the front cross member here. I test fit it. Mine actually fits. I do see where it could be a little bit of an issue on the lower pin in here. So if you do have to modify yours, it's just gonna be like, you can see the white paint right there. So if you do have to modify it, there you can see the white paint there. Well, powder coat. I guess I should say powder coat before you guys think I painted this. But that would be about the only spot that they want you to notch it. Mine goes on without it. So I lucked out there. I don't have to do any trimming. The only thing I will have to do is cut. You can see the front diff is hanging here. I will have to come in here and measure 3/4 of an inch back and then cut straight down, cutting all this off. And then we'll have the drop brackets and everything in place. So Eric and I are up here plugging and chugging to get the front suspension done. And I'm loving it.
That's the wrong slogan.
What is it? Plug and chug? Plug and chug. So, I'm loving it. Plug and chug. Well, going back together, obviously, you know I want a clean environment. I don't want to mess anything up. But I went ahead and just quickly went over this so that it looks good. Typically, I end up tossing it back together, and I never end up cleaning under here. So I went ahead and painted up both this side and the other side, just so that I could kind of have a little bit of a better base going back together. Again, usually I just toss it back together and then I'll like do some touch up. This side is still actually drying here, as you can tell, but huge shout out to Eric, Eric's Everything Auto, for giving me a hand up until this point. We are going to take the calipers off and we're going to probably get them powder coated. I know I said I was going to do it on something else I had. Oh, my other Yukon, but I just didn't end up doing it. This build here, I do want to make it kind of as nice as possible without going too over the top. Just sort of, again, something that anyone in their driveway can build and build, you know, rather cheaply for the most part. Now, yes, I do have $10,000 in wheels and lift on it at this point, but if you wanted to do something like this, you could find a much cheaper tire and a much cheaper lift kit and go from there. Again, I am putting the Vertex shocks on here. I don't think I actually discussed it yet, but we are going with a Vertex shock, and that's why I say cheaper. So hold all your comments off. We are putting Vertex on here, and it is going to be a coilover system. So I am kind of spending some good money on this, but it's also because I love this thing, and this was obviously a build that I've always wanted to do. So spend a little money now to kind of enjoy it later. I don't plan on selling this one, so don't look for this one to be for sale, but my blue one might be for sale. Without further ado, let me keep plugging and chugging. All right, this is a lot of work for one person, especially the diff. So as you can tell, I had to trim off an ear on the other side. I'll go over there, but I just wanted to show you guys this side. It is looking absolutely killer. So keep in mind, guys, this is like from the tire shine that was on there. So we are going to clean all of this up, tire shine it, and make it look absolutely incredible on this thing. So I'm excited. I'm going to go ahead and end it because it's actually getting a little late here for me. It's actually probably about midnight. As you can tell on this side, I have the rear diff cut. Basically, it was very, very simple. Basically, you cut 3/4 of an inch off of, or from where that bolt is right here, cut 3/4 of an inch back and just straight down. Diff seems to be going in right now. Again, Rough Country doesn't offer this kit. I don't know if I said in the beginning. If I didn't, I will pre-add it. But Rough Country does say that the diff does have issues with this. So I'm still trial and error. I think everything's going to go good the way I have it. I think I'm going to have to put like a shim or spacer like right here on this to get it to kind of pitch down a little bit, I think. But I will let you know exactly how we get this thing to work and how we get this thing to be perfect. And again, this is all my responsibility. No fault of Rough Country if I do end up blowing the front diff or I do blow my transfer case. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and call it for the night, and I will see you guys back in the morning. Guys, so we are back here today. Honestly, Eric actually reminded me to start recording because I was just kind of going at this just to get it done because obviously, I mean...
Not like you make YouTube videos or anything.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. I was like, let's just get it done. So I've been up here just grinding away. Eric's obviously been up here grinding away. He's got everything pretty much tightened up, and he's sort of been the what do you want to call it?
The bitch. The
lead tech to doing all of this. I like lead tech better.
That's bullshit.
No, lead tech. We're calling him the lead tech. So he's been kind of like the lead tech on all this. Obviously, today it's a little chilly. I don't know why. It's like 20 degrees.
Tell him the truth. You put it all together so it looks nice and pretty, and then say, here, go tighten my nuts.
Okay, so I did, well, you've seen in the clip that you just seen, I did just throw everything together like I said, but today we got everything tightened up, and again, we're just out here plugging and chugging. So the directions say that you have to cut 3/8 of an inch off of here. It might look a little crooked, but I promise you it's not. It's actually the arm. It has a little bit of a bend to it, and then it wants 3/8 of an inch cut off of these threads as well, so it doesn't bottom out. So that's what we're getting ready to do now. Everything else looks killer on this side. We did have to do a brake line drop here. I do believe my ride control is still going to be good. So, no, it's not.
Why?
I'm hoping it is. But I didn't want to take any of this off, so I went ahead and cut this brake bracket. I'm going to peel this off of here because I don't need it, and then I'll probably form some other sort of bracket to hold this back out of the way. But we've got all the brackets in. Obviously, you have to go ahead and extend this brake line out a little bit. I just bent mine so that it's not touching anything, and it's basically in the same location, just moved about 3 inches down. So plugging and chugging, everything looks good, and as always, huge shout out to Eric. Eric's Everything Auto, as you see on the screen. This time I actually put it on the screen. Look at that. Bow.
What?
Eric's Everything Auto. Bow right there.
Right here. See?
Yeah,
right
you
here.
see it? It's right there, too. It's right there, too. All right, plug and chug.
You ready?
You just hold that.
Vibratory move. Hey, at least you gave me a rubber handle.
That's why I got that one. Well, sorry for shaking you up there when I didn't need to. Obviously, ratchet strap the world. You don't know how many things I've used to ratchet strap and for it to go into plate. Like I remember we did the axles in the limo here. Like ratchet straps save you so much more work, and I don't know why I just don't use them more often. But I like to use my mans in them.
Meow.
Meow. All right, other side. Whoo-wee. Whee! All right, well, what a pain it is to cut the brackets off here. Eric left a little bit ago. I had to cut the other tie rod. I couldn't get the jam nut free, and 2 bolts actually broke on the sway bar. So we're actually gonna go ahead and get the sway bar powder coated. So you won't see the sway bar back on this thing yet. We do have the sway bar end links over here powder coated, but again, 2 of the bolts broke on this side, and the jam nut on this side, it literally took me about 2.5 hours to get this thing free. You can see the threads are shiny right here. I cleaned it up with a wire brush. Like, it was just an absolute nightmare to get this thing on here. But as I said on the other side, we cut about 3/8 of an inch on this tie rod and then 3/8 of an inch on this tie rod. The steering wheel should be pretty straight. So without further ado, let's get this wheel on and get this thing set to its front ride height. And again, well, I don't think I said anything, but I'm pretty much leaving this one so it's a driver. So this is gonna stay 7 inches lift. It might go 7.5, 8 inches, depending on the ride quality. I will mess with it once I get this thing together and driving a little bit, but I don't wanna go crazy on this one. Again, as you guys do know, on my other one, I did build that one a little too tall, but it is what it is. Much like everything else I got is absolutely extremely massive. This one I did not wanna do that with. So let's get the wheel on here and see where it's gonna sit. You just want lovin's. You just want the lovin's. That's all you want. Bam, there you go. So the front is about where I want it. I'm debating here if I do want to raise it up a little bit so that I don't have to do a bunch of trimming. But the front is about where I want it. Again, I didn't want to make this thing too tall. I do want it to clear 35s, which this lift kit should do. Again, my 14 wides is probably the only reason it won't. If you did have a factory offset or a better offset, you could probably clear these things with ease, but you know me. Got to have the weird offset, got to have the weird stance, and it's going to look absolutely killer. So I think that's going to go ahead and wrap up the video. I hope you do enjoy it. I think we might leave it squatted for a little bit, drive it around. I can add a little bit of air. Ouch. Pinched my finger. I can add a little bit of air in the rear if I need to, if we're bottoming it out in places, but comment, like, subscribe. Huge shout out to Rough Country again for sending the Vertex shocks on this kit and sending me this lift kit. So I really appreciate it. Glad that they're part of the family. As you do know, they're on that Jeep, they're on the limo, they're on my other Yukon at the house. Maybe we'll get that Yukon out and I'll put it in the next video. But comment, like, subscribe. Take care, guys. We'll see you in the next one. And yes, I am out of breath, I'm out of shape, and I'm ready to go home. Good night, take care. We'll see you in the next one. I'm not sure where I left that off there, but we obviously will not leave this thing squatted. So stay tuned to the next video. We're going to do the rear. Just exhausted, so it might be a day or two, maybe 3, who knows. Huge shout out again to Eric from Eric's Everything Auto. Definitely go give him a follow, guys. If you could, get him up to 500 followers on Instagram. He has helped me out tremendously ever since my situation, ever since my going into congested heart failure and all that. He has come in clutch and, you know, more than anyone else in my life. So huge shout out to Eric again. Thank you again, buddy. I really do appreciate it, and see you in the next one.